Hello, everyone. Reverend Dr. Katie, and I am just making a really quick video to tell you a little bit about St. Brigid and a little bit why she's meaningful to me. And I am hosting on January 31st, 2019, a 1-hour session on accessing the energy of St. Brigid and preparing for her feast day, which is on Friday. And it's one of my favorite kind of energetic days of the year. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about why now so you can decide if that's something you want to join in or not. And I actually lived in Ireland, and Brigid is an Irish saint. And she probably predates Christianity, actually. And so she exists as an energetic force before Christianity came to Ireland, and then she becomes a saint. And we're going to talk a little bit about that story tomorrow and how that is not threatening at all to Christians. We can live with both of those realities really, really beautifully. And I actually lived in Ireland when I was an exchange student in college, and I don't remember encountering St. Brigid then. I'm sure that I did, but I wasn't aware. It just wasn't in my consciousness at the time. And so about 10 years ago, something like that, I was at an academic conference. And an academic conference always has an exhibit hall, and it's always filled with books, like hordes of books, loads of books, way more books than any one person could possibly read or purchase at the conference. And it's like a huge exhibit hall filled with them. This one time in San Francisco, there was a jeweler that was at the conference. I've never seen a jeweler there before or since. This was really unusual. They were like, well, it's like a religious academic conference, so we thought maybe there would be a market for some of our religious jewelry. So I went by this jeweler about 10 times, and I kept on looking at the St. Brigid's cross. You often see it on me. Of course, I forgot to put it on tonight because I took it off when I went to yoga. I'll bring it tomorrow. So I kept on looking at this cross. It was St. Brigid's cross, looked at it about 10 times. Finally, I was like, I'm ponying up and buying this. Like, something about it was just calling to me. So I bought it, and then I went home and I started looking it up. And I found out her feast day is the same day as my birthday. And I thought, this is not coincidence. This is meant to be. So the love affair was born right then and there. She's shown up in my life in tons of different ways. I'm going to tell you some about that tomorrow when we're on in our kind of energy session about her. And every room in my house has at least one Brigid symbol or more. Many of them have more than one. And it's getting a little ridiculous. Like, it's getting, whenever I see one, I'm like, is that the one for me? But everyone that I buy has kind of a special meaning. So I'm going to show you just a few. Well, the first one is this behind me, and that's like St. Brigid's fire and her mantle. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and the legends associated with her. And some of the rituals, really easy, simple rituals that you or anyone can do to tune into that energy. And an important thing to know about rituals, just as you're thinking about joining us and kind of preparing for your own rituals, is rituals can be meaningless or meaningful, and that all depends on you. A ritual done emptily, if that's a word, a ritual done without heart is not nearly as effective as one done, with your soul and your spirit and your energy poured into it. So it's one of the things we'll talk about tomorrow, how to make a ritual very meaningful for you. It's less about doing it just perfectly and more about doing it with intention and with a lot of soul. So we're not too worried about ritual perfection. We're worried about energetic soulfulness when we do these rituals. So there's one St. Brigid that I have right there. Here's another one. I just love this one. It's stained glass. Usually her crosses are made out of straw or out of reeds. This one is made out of glass, so it's a little more permanent. And if you do come tomorrow, we'll be exploring how to make these. And you can make them with something as simple as paper. It doesn't even have to be, you don't have to go harvest straw in order to make a St. Brigid's cross. And I realized I have this healing incense. I don't know everything that's in it because I bought it on Etsy a while back, but I keep it around for every St. Brigid's Day and a few days in between where I feel like I need it. And I was just looking on my bulletin board in my office. I was like, oh, I have this. This is St. Brigid too. So you can see the red and the fire. So with Brigid, we celebrate the hearth. We celebrate the fire. We look to her fiery vision, her passion, and her discipleship. She was a disciple for Jesus Christ. And interestingly enough, many people did not think she was a nun. they thought she was more like in a priest role. And so that's really exciting too. And we're going to explore some of that tomorrow. So these are just a few of my St. Bridgets. I'm going to show you tons more. I'm going to have the harp. I'm going to give you some meditations with the harp. That one is St. Bridget's hymn. Another one is a contemporary song written about her that was played at my ordination that I just love. I had dancers to it. And so, her energy is just everywhere. And this is energy that helps connect us to God. Everything that I do, all the things that we do, I always tell you all, I tell my clients, I tell everyone, if this isn't connecting you more deeply on your Christian journey, then this particular act is not for you. And that's okay. There's different modalities, different rituals for different people. And Brigid is kind of gone global. She's an energy that's very present. She helps connect us to Christ. She helps make my journey richer and deeper. And I think she could do that for you too if you've never encountered her. She is Irish. You don't need to be Irish to apply. Like I said, Brigid's gone global. And this is kind of a Celtic approach to spirituality, but it's accessible to anyone. You don't have to be like of Celtic ethnic origin or anything like that to participate. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. I think it's going to be really fun. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll put all the appropriate links here. If you happen to be watching this after January 31st or February 1st, 2019, no big deal. If you still want to participate, just participate. Her feast day is February 1st. And so that's a really fun day to tune into the energy, but you can tune into the energy whenever. It's just fine. She won't mind. She won't mind if you do that. So if you're tuning in later, go ahead. All the links should still work and you can participate in that way, either live or in recording. Either way will be just fine and just as powerful. And I will look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.